Hello and welcome to another game of StarLadder Season 6, game number 3 of day number 17. We've got ourselves a game between Alliance and Empire, and with us today we have two people. One you will not hear, even though apparently you can still hear us typing. It is K-poptosis providing you with all the stats for today, and of course with me is my co-caster Kanaz for today, Empire versus Alliance. What are your thoughts?
Well, if we were talking about Empire maybe 6 months ago or even longer, maybe I'd be thinking it was a close game match, but Empire, they haven't been looking good. They're sitting with two stand-ins still, and these aren't even the same two stand-ins they've been running with. So it looks like they are just actual stand-ins, not just people sort of trialing for the team. So we'll see how it ends up working for them. One of their stand-ins is actually the one drafting at the moment. That's a S screen.
10 seconds remaining.
Correct?
So I don't know. Kind of expecting Alliance to probably take it pretty easily, especially getting Lone Druid, Admiral Bulldog's like signature hero. But we'll see. Always hoping for a good game.
Always hoping for a good game. And yeah, with Screen on the head of Empire, we have seen them taking a couple of points in StarLadder as they need their points. They're not really doing all too well. I believe they've lost 4 games right now, or 4 or 3. And you can't really lose too many games, otherwise you won't be able to go to Kiev. And Empire, even though of course they've been in a bit of a slump, they still have 3-star players who have been in StarLadder plenty of times, and of course will want to continue going there. And of course this is one of their chances to go there in Season 6. We've got a Darkseer and a Lifestealer getting banned out on the side of Alliance, with the Wisp and a Bedrider banned out by Empire. Empire managed to get themselves their hands on the Shadow Demon and a Nyx Assassin. That's a roaming combination that we often see. Let's see how effective they can roam against a roaming combination of a Chen and a Rubik, because also those two heroes often used to roam very effectively, and a Lone Druid there as, like you already said, one of the extra signature heroes, as of course Aki's signature hero, Chen, already on the side of Alliance as well.
And it looks like S4 actually disconnected.
Ooh, that's not a good thing.
No, it's actually Screen, never mind. It was from Empire. It was like the drafter for one. So Screen is actually disconnected right now for Empire. Hopefully he makes it in time. They're wasting some bonus time, but it might not matter too much. It looks like he's reconnected now. It's kind of unfortunate when the person who disconnects is the one drafting, since it can hurt your draft pretty badly, especially if it's like a ban phase and you just don't ban anything at all. It's gonna go with a Juggernaut pick. Somewhat unusual, but a very aggressive pick, and that's the style Empire like to run. So hopefully it works out for them.
Yeah, I like that Empire really took the time to pick the hero up, just also to maybe a bit of, friendliness to make sure that Alliance have the time to connect well, it wasn't S4, it was Screen actually that got banned out, not S4 in the end. So it was actually the Juggernaut that was taking that time to be picked up by Screen. But everything all well and good. We are in our banning phase, and even though Empire ticked a bit into their bonus time, with the amount of speed they use to go through these bans, I'm expecting they won't need that much. We've got a Pocket Keeper of the Light, a Dragon Knight, and a Beastmaster banned out by these teams, with the Nature's Prophet now banned out by Alliance, and the last ban in for Empire in hopefully a moment.
Yeah, these bans, Dragon Knight being banned out, I guess kind of makes sense. We've seen S4 play a lot of Dragon Knight mid recently, but they're also going with Beastmaster, so it looks like they're trying to take off solo mid heroes at this point, and that's probably fair considering it's hard to just ban against Loda. He'll play sort of anything as a carry role. Haven't seen Magnus banned out at this point. That's kind of what I'm expecting to see as this last ban.
Well, yeah, we still don't have a mid hero picked up for Alliance. And with the first pick going their way, well, it's either banning out the Magnus or probably facing up against them. Though, as I say this, we actually saw Alliance going for a Queen of Pain yesterday as their solo mid, even if the Magnus was still in the pool. So, they might be trying that out again. It is a Storm Spirit in the end that gets banned out for Empire. So let's see if Alliance indeed replies with that Magnus, or if they maybe want to try their luck on the Queen of Pain again. And I say try their luck because last game we saw them, well, I saw them picking up a Queen of Pain, let's rephrase that. I actually saw them lose. And that's not something that they want to be doing, of course.
Yeah, don't want to drop any games that they don't have to. And this is probably one that they don't really have to. And they're going to pick up Gyrocopter. We'll see if it's in the hands of Loda or S4. Loda has played obviously tons of gyrocopter at this point. Usually goes for a somewhat unusual build compared to most of the carries in this Western scene. We've seen him pick up like Sanjin Yasha and Ethereal Blade and stuff like that. To just go, he goes fast, does a bunch of magic damage, as opposed to sort of the physical DPS builds that a lot of players tend to favor.
Yeah, we have seen him play the gyrocopter often. Empire, though, they must have known like that something like this was coming for them. And with the Juggernaut pickup, they have themselves a lot of sustainability already with that healing ward. But in terms of power and mid-game carry potential, mid-game dominance, they don't really have that much just yet, and they really need some. They could pick up the Magnus for themselves right now. We've actually seen Juggernauts in solo mid lanes. We've seen Juggernauts in suicide lanes by himself. So in terms of laning for Empire, a lot is still possible, and personally I like to see them picking up heroes that can do fairly well by their own regardless, and then just have the Nyx Assassin and Shadow Demon trying to make that mid lane or any kind of lane hell for the one hero on Alliance that they want to shut down multiple times.
Windrunner at your
Yeah,
service.
and Windrunner going to be this pickup now, kind of looking like it'll probably be a support Windrunner, or offlane Windrunner rather, if they want to run Nyx, Shadow Demon as their two supports. They have some options. Clockwork, the last pick, so I guess solo mid Clockwork for S4, or
yeah, I'm kind of curious to see this, because of course Clockwork is also a signature hero for Bulldog. Well, we'll see what they're gonna go for. It is Queen of Pain, picked up by Empire. S4 indeed on the Clockwork. Now, what we have actually seen Alliance do, not often, but they have actually run the Lone Druid mid, and then S4 could be on the solo offlane on the Clockwork. And of course Loda as a safe lane. So in terms of hero pickups, not really a surprise, I guess. But in terms of lanes, I think we might get a surprise here still, as we'll see where they're gonna go from here. Empire with their Queen of Pain pickup, I like it. It gives a lot of mobility in that mid game. Also, of course, if you have that Nyx Assassin that is leveling fast, or at least that's what you're hoping that of course he'll do. With the Juggernaut sustainability, mid game is the game where Empire should take it from, and we'll see how successful they are with that, as everybody is picking up their heroes. So we'll see who is exactly going where.
Yeah, it's looking like we'll get to see something fun, which is sort of the hero that Light of Heaven kind of made famous in the early days of Dota 2 here with the Windrunner, the shackle shots. People shot in Light of Heaven when people shackle things.
Yeah.
He's on that Windrunner at the moment, looking for him in the offlane.
I would really like to see that on the offlane. We haven't seen, I think, Light of Heaven on the Windrunner for ages. I haven't, anyway.
Yeah, not in quite some time, when Windrunner kind of fell out of popularity during the last days of him being with Navi, and just didn't really get picked up anymore. He started playing other heroes.
Yeah, let's see who's playing what. We do have a pause coming off from Empire, as they might still be resolving some issues that were coming up during the draft when the screen disconnected. But there's the go again. For Alliance, we will have EGM playing his Rubik. And it's no surprise that Loda will play the Gyrocopter, Admiral Bulldog on his famed Lone Druid, Aki on his also famed Chen. And last one, the one that we don't see often on the Clockwork, it is S4. Looks like he is going mid lane with the Clockwork, so off lane it is for the Bear, and Aki and EGM into the Radiant Jungle with the Gyrocopter there to protect, as we have screen disconnecting still. And well, I have to say, like, before Alliance name changed from No Tidehunter to Alliance, it was a different Empire, wasn't it? It was still the old Empire.
Yeah, that'd be the old Empire, and some of those games are probably the old Alliance as well, with the Eternal Envy over EGM, where it felt like maybe they probably weren't as strong of a team. They were certainly still a good team, but maybe just not the same level that they're at right now.
Yeah, Empire in a bit of a slump lately, of course.
Yeah, Empire, not anywhere near the standards that teams or players, viewers, anyone would have held them to. They can't really meet them anymore, it's feeling like, but we'll see if they can do something in this game. I'll go over their players right now. We're going to have Screen playing on the Shadow Demon Scandal on the Queen of Pain. SFG, the other stand-in, going to be on the Nyx Assassin. Blow Your Brain playing the Juggernaut, and finally Light of Heaven on that Windrunner.
Yeah, and of course, if you want to vote for who will you think will win, you can vote by the commands that you just saw pop up on the screen. Exclamation mark and vote, and then your team of choice of who will take this game. Is it Alliance? Is it Empire? We'll see as people are moving towards their lanes. Everybody going top apparently. There is a party, but Bulldog is not invited because he is the only one going bottom. But Empire is making their way towards the top lane. Might be looking for an aggressive tri lane. I mean, with the Shadow Demon there, Disruption there to set things off. And with the Juggernaut Blade Fury going through, you've got yourself a very aggressive tri lane. And Rubik, a hero that can be very defensive. So it will be very tough to get a kill in there. Having said that, EGM might be busy with pooling and stacking, leaving Loda out on the field. Could mean that they are able to pick up Loda, and we see Empire being very aggressive here. They are gonna try to shut Loda down. However, they will give up their bottom lane because Lone Druid will therefore get a bit of free farm, free time here on that bottom lane. Even if Light of Heaven will be there, most likely on that Windrunner, it is still not an easy thing to do. Windrunner versus Lone Druid, by the way. One thing, of course, that you can really try and do is shackle the Master and the Bear together. So that is something that is an edge for Light of Heaven, but it's still not going to be an easy lane for him.
No, and of course Admiral Bulldog, he's usually good enough with his bear micro that he can try and move the bear off to the side if he sees that shackle shot coming. And so this is really the situation you find yourself in when you're facing off against Alliance. You want to run this aggressive tri lane to try and contest Loda's farm, but in doing so, you give Admiral Bulldog the farm on this Lone Druid. And he can carry just as well as Loda if you give him the space.
It's a tough choice to make for sure, as SFG will be picking up that haste rune, might be looking for something already. We already have got a sentry ward placed here by Alliance to just counter any kind of ward coming off from the Radiant, even though they only blocked one ward by the looks of it for now, or at least the other one probably countered. Let's check the inventories. Yeah, the other one is indeed countered. And they are able to just take that first creep for Aki. So he'll pick himself up a Centaur, which makes for a great combination with a telekinesis there, of course, setting up for that Centaur stun. And all of a sudden, Empire's lineup cannot be as aggressive anymore, as this combination just makes sure that Empire is going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, Empire, they're going to try their best to contest farm here off of Gyrocopter. If they're successful, you know, at least they're going okay, but they're up against Chen, who's just going to be jungling. Worst case scenario, and he'll be able to get some levels that way. EGM, he'll probably try and pull if he can't get rid of these, or he already did get rid of the blocking spawns. So he'll be able to pull basically freely. And worst case scenario, he can follow Chen around, get levels that way. And they can't really do too much to stop it. They're not going to be able to block every pull, and they're definitely not going to be able to wander to the jungle constantly, trying to just stop Aki from being able to farm in the jungle.
Yeah, S4 is having a tough time mid. There was almost a first blood there, but S4 managed to keep himself up with getting that HP back when he does use cogs to blow a bit extra mana away from Scandal. But he is having a tough time. He is 4-1 right now. Scandal not having any issues last hitting. He is 11-2, so really dominating in terms of last hits and kind of dominating in terms of lane control as well. And S4's job here is to just get experience and with as much farm as possible, but it's not really necessary for him to get a lane win up on him, even though yeah, they do want to shut S4 down a bit more. They have got an Invis rune they could pick up as well. Could use it to set up a bit better, but they are going to try it with just a disruption there. And Screen looking to find it. The disruption is still there, but as are the cogs, so it's tough to get yourself some extra harassment in there. So S4 dodges the gank. Invisibility rune still picked up by Empire. But no kill on the board just yet, even though the plan was there. Didn't really succeed. Light of Heaven sitting at 5-1, also having a bit of a tough lane with this 8-5 rather for Bulldog, and a 77% win rate with Windrunner. 11 games played. As we do have another go up on S4 Scandal, looking to go on a follow up. Can't get it done after the impale already went off, and telekinesis up to the high ground fails from EGM. But a lot of people trying to get things done here. A lot of movements from a lot of supports. Maybe they can go again. The Scream this time hits. There is no cogs. Now they are there again. But S4 looks to be okay. A sense of flare just in case. And with the Harpy there from the Chen, there is a lot of harassment that will come out up on Scandal here in this mid lane.
Yeah, these Harpies are really powerful, very annoying to lane against. they do so much damage, and this is a very spammable spell chain lane. You just keep casting on the hero, and it can really zone them out of lane. So Aki gonna be doing a great job here for S4, trying to keep him in the lane, getting some farm, in otherwise what's a horrible, horrible matchup for him. And I'm kind of surprised to see Alliance actually went for this Clockwork pick, knowing that Queen of Pain was in the pool to be picked up. They could have had a really good matchup for mid and made sure that they won that lane as well, and they kind of just chose not to.
Yeah, as we see the poll results heavily favoring Alliance. And with heavily, I do mean heavily, 89 for 11% in favor of Alliance, as Bulldog gets a bit of extra harassment here from the power shot from Light of Heaven. We do have the Queen of Pain being forced back, does have a bottle though, but yeah, with that Harpy, he just can't stay busy. Look at this Harpy harassment, it is so annoying. It already has to send the bottle back and didn't even get to full HP with that. And the Harpy, it is still there. Actually, no, it just got killed off. Nicely done, at least. For the tower, I guess, but Scandal, a couple of flares. S4 is actually looking for something if he can get those cogs off, and then the extra flare damage. Look at Scandal, one more hit needed. S4, is he gonna dive this? You have to be so careful with this to not get baited into killing yourself off. Looks like Scandal will be hiding. Let's see where that flare is gonna hit, because we are gonna see another flare in 4 seconds. The bottle is gonna come, but the flare should be there first. Here comes a flare. He thinks she was gonna go back to base. No such luck though. So no first blood on the board just yet. This 4 is gonna lend some extra harassment back. Or Scandal gonna lend some extra. This is a very interesting lane, just pointing it out. I like sitting in this middle lane to watch what these two players are trying to throw at each other.
Yeah, S4 kind of in a very, very poor matchup, so he's being forced to play interestingly, and Aki, of course, with the Harpy, was able to sort of almost win S4 the lane on the back of just that Harpy. But now things going to be a little bit closer to even again, and we still do see Scandal outlast hitting, which is relatively unsurprising considering just the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we already saw it earlier on that it was very much in favor of Scandal, and now actually S4 managed to get himself a couple of extra last hits. He's almost level 6. He's only slightly behind Queen of Pain, who's got 7 denies, and of course S4 only has 3 denies. So in that regard, doing very well, and with that hook shot, he'll be able to make things happen on the map, as we do have a bit of a smoke up from SFG, or they're gonna try to go for S4 here. Here comes the Impale, double damage rune there as well. Clockwork gets a disruption, a soul catcher. Here comes Scandal, doesn't really have that much mana, but might be able to throw some extra harassment, and S4 can blink over the cogs, isn't even needed, as SFG gets the first blood money with just a mana burn. Neeks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. S4 was trying to drop those cogs to block SFG, but unfortunately pulled Nyx into the cogs with him, and at that point, with the double damage up on the Nyx, pretty much secured that he was going to be dying there. So first blood does go the way of Empire, but farm is going the way of actually kind of the Radiant right now.
That is very even though, in terms of gold difference with that first blood money. Alliance actually were ahead by 500, which is really not that much. Up until that first blood, actually. Telekinesis, blow your brain in some trouble. But the flag cannon doesn't do enough damage, they don't go on it. And this aggressive trialing got completely abandoned, by the way, when they saw that the combination there of the Rubik and the Chen. They decided not to go for it, decided to roam a bit more, decided to find more kills elsewhere, and of course successful in terms of getting the first blood. In terms of levels, we still have a level 3 up on the Chen, level 3 up on the Rubik, level 3 up on the Nyx Assassin, and then of course the one support that's left is the Shadow Demon Screen, who's actually level 4, so slightly ahead for Empire in terms of levels. Oh, another Harpy. Why don't you?
Yeah, Aki getting some creep luck here for his jungle, getting another Harpy. You don't even necessarily see these all that often, because they can only spawn at the small camp, and there's only the one small camp. So he gets another one. It's going to be annoying for Scandal, but less problematic now than before, because Scandal is level 7, doesn't need to sit in lane and just take Harpy harass for several minutes.
Yeah, we do have a smoke up, by the way. Scandal and Screen looking to help Blow Your Brain here a bit on the top lane. Blow Your Brain, who's not really been able to get that much in terms of farm, but he does get his levels. He's level 6 as well. Loda level 7, so only slightly behind, but Loda in terms of farm, of course, way ahead. They want to take him down, though. The disruption is there. The Soul Catcher is going to be there as well. Scandal burns him down. Sonic Wave coming through as well. Blow Your Brain trying to escape the cogs, but he's not going to be able to. Still a worthy trade for Empire. Maybe they can get S4 as well, but he has a bottle. He should be okay. Still an okay trade, as we have got a disconnect, so the puzzle will come out. But yeah, That was Loda being blown to pieces right there.
Yeah, and Bulldog has actually been disconnected for a little while. It looks like he walked almost all the way back to base, and no one from Alliance noticed.
That's
Somewhat problematic.
unfortunately.
He
Scandal
wastes-
actually the one to pause. You're right.
Yeah, Scandal was the one who noticed. He's like, Bulldog? And they're like, oh yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah, he's still on our team as well. Yeah.
He just disappears sometimes. We don't know. Comes back.
Yeah,
whatever.
wins his lane. Oh well.
He's actually losing his lane right now.
Ooh.
Light of Heaven's out farming him, but kind of significantly.
Yeah, right. 38 for 7 on the side of Windrunner with the Baron sitting on 26 to 12. That's a quite significant difference right now. And level 4 on the power shot for Light of Heaven and the shackle shot. He's doing really well. I'm thinking maybe it's time for him to leave his lane and try to set up some more kills for Empire, because they need to get it from this mid-game aggression that they can throw out. And if they allow Loda to continue farm and just take this late game, they won't be having an advantage there whatsoever, because a gyrocopter up against a Juggernaut is not gonna be the one thing to do, as Scandal actually took the pause to also go AFK himself, apparently.
Yeah, Scandal said be right back, and then like the rest of his team just on pause. Like, yeah, we're fine. Scandal's here, and then Scandal wasn't here, so we're waiting another minute to see when he makes it back. But lanes, Empire holding their own definitely in this game. It's not feeling like they're just have thrown away early games so badly that they can't come back, which has been kind of the case in lots of their matchups lately. And definitely Light of Heaven doing well against Admiral Bulldog's a good sign. It's kind of unfortunate that they tried to run that aggressive tri lane up in the top lane and didn't have a lot of success. If they were going to abandon it just because they saw that was the matchup eventually, and they didn't want to face up against it, I'm not sure why they would even attempt it. Because with the Chen on the team, you know it's going to be there. Chen so unlikely to run the offensive jungle. So, I don't know. Kind of, that's a little bit of strange play, but the supports, they're making the best of it now. They found that first blood, they moved around a little bit more, found a kill top.
Yep.
So whatever.
Yeah, so far only losing the off-lane Juggernaut, who is, even with that kill, I mean, considering the lane he's been on, I mean, the fact that he's got these levels is pretty impressive to begin with. Of course, you would like to see your carry having a bit more farm, and otherwise you would put Light of Heaven in the field of being that carry, as Light of Heaven looks to be getting a gank, perhaps not. It's actually Bulldog that they want to gank, never mind me. The Vendetta's not there, but the invisibility rune is there for SFG, and they want to go for the bear TP, and also from Scandal. Bulldog already trying to run away, realizes now he should be realizing he's getting blocked a bit. The bear already scouting people out. Okay, gank cancelled. S4 walking right into the hands of Scandal with battery assault will force Scandal away a bit. He doesn't have a sonic wave either to help out. Do still have an invis Nyx assassin, but can't really get that much done as Light of Heaven runs away. Might actually be going down here. Pops himself. Maybe he's going to be in time to do something. Shackle on the bear, but where is he going to go? Power shot will go through. Here comes SFG going for that impale, but only buying a little bit of time. They cannot kill Bulldog in this time. And Light of Heaven will go down. The right-click battle has begun. Spike Carap is helping out, but it's not really helping out FSG. It is actually Bulldog that will still try to get this kill. Looking for the entangle. Can't get lucky there, though. And will be backing off after, well, continuous hits without entangles.
Yeah, and Light of Heaven could have actually escaped there if he had shackle shotted through the trees above him.
Power shot,
not shackle, power shot through the trees above him after he got that shackle, just could have ran. So I'm not sure why he went for the power shot to do like negligible damage to the bear. It was the decision. Maybe he thought that Nyx was a little bit closer, they'd be able to turn around and get the kill. He'd buy enough time for the wind run or something. Didn't end up working out that way though, and they just give Bulldog a free kill.
Yeah, something that he really needed, as we already mentioned, that he is not having that good of a lane. And yeah, you see it there, his GPM 65% is lower than his average at 10 minutes. So not having the best game of his life, but now with that kill, to get himself a bit back on that lane, as Blow Your Brain also manages to find some experience here. The push was there. They weren't able to take down the tier 1 tower with screen hanging around there as well, spamming out shadow poisons. But with all these creeps coming in, Blow Your Brain actually gets a bit of extra farm, which is really more than welcome, as he now has his phase boots complete. Oh, they still want to take this tower. Telekinesis there, Blow Your Brain. Whoa, that is one dead Juggernaut as the hookshot misses up on screen, but it doesn't matter because the net and the clap and Aki setting up a kill for Gyrocopter to take. So Loda getting the double kill and the tower still going down also went to Loda. So that is a lot of extra gold going to this Gyrocopter. And in the meantime, on the bottom lane, Light of Heaven goes down to this in the second time. Bulldog getting himself a second kill there. And this time the entangle did hit.
Yeah, I sit there complimenting on Empire about how they're not throwing away the early game, and 10 minutes in, and they start falling behind pretty heavily here. They give up a couple kills. Light of Heaven's died a couple times now. I guess they get this kill here. That's pretty okay.
Yeah, just bursting all the mana up on everyone. Bulldog will get Scandal that kill. S4 running away from this one. Doesn't want to be involved in that. Scandal will still take the haste rune though. So S4 missing that one, even though he had an empty bottle. Would have loved to have that. But no can do. No can do.
Yeah, definitely. So they're having a little bit more trouble now. They do get that kill on Emerald Bulldog, which is pretty big, but Gyrocopter gets 2 kills and a tower. That's a lot of gold to give to Loda, and looks to be he's an ogre club, so normally would say, oh, he looks to be going for BKB, but we've seen him go Sanjin Yasha several times on this hero, so it's possible that what he wants. I think he should go for BKB against that team, but he might go Sanjin Yasha. Never expect Loda to just do what I think he'll do.
Yeah, Sanjin Yasha actually said himself that it is an item that will provide him a lot of early game sustainability with being on 1700 HP or something like that at minute 15, even though right now, well, maybe minute 15 is still doable. Actually, it should be. Maybe. So yeah, just a build that he often goes for, and with that, he often also goes for the Ethereal Blade after that. So we'll see if he does that one today, or if he rather goes for a different build that a lot of other people go for, let's put it that way. So tower gets a knight here in the mid lane, so Scandal's still getting that one out, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the tower still did go down. And the tier 1 tower of the Radiant side provides a lot of map coverage for the Radiant team, so they just lost that, and Alliance just gave themselves a bit more control over this game once again, and are probably looking for taking the Radiant jungle for themselves, as well as S4 already walks in there, actually finds Light of Heaven, goes for the cogs, gets him as well. The flare is there, and the wind run not gonna be enough, and S4 taking the kill with the hook shot. Here comes the Vendetta though, SFG looking for a pickup, but what can he really do by himself? Scandal is needed there, and Scandal actually took a detour to go and pick up the rune, so that should not be resulting into a kill anymore, especially not so close to also a bear that can entangle you when he wants to. Maybe they still want to try to defend their tier 1 though, we'll see. It's gonna be an even matchup 3-on-3. 3-on-4 rather, as Alliance have Loda TPing in. This is not looking good for Empire if they try to fight this, but the entangle hits up an illusion, so that might be helping them a bit again. There goes the telekinesis and the entangle again. Nyx Assassin, Spike Carapace trying to do what he can. Sonic Wave hits upon 2. S4 running himself out of there as another entangle hits upon Blow Your Brain. Nice shackle though. But Blow Your Brain will still go down. Nyx Assassin already on the sidelines as well. And Light of Heaven and Scandal trying to run away. Impale by EGM. And the Rocket Barrage will get the kill. Gyrocopter and again Loda with the last hit. And 2 heroes left alive for Empire. And both are fleeing from the scene. Screen can't do anything there anymore. And Scandal, even though he has still got a very high mana pool, of course he had that bottle full, can't do anything there anymore either. So they give away their tier 1 bottom. Well, I say give away. They fought over it. They lose their tier 1 bottom.
Yeah, nothing giving away here. It was definitely a hard-fought battle for Empire, and Windrunner Light of Heaven landing several key shackle shots on Loda to the bear. That's like taking out the 2 main damage dealers for Alliance. It just doesn't matter. They're falling pretty far behind at this point.
Yeah, and it's like, what can they do right now? Because mid-game is the time when Empire's lineup should be most volatile, as we see EGM actually taking a lot of damage here. He isn't going to be able to get picked up. A Scandal, he'll pay for that one with his life, and Blow Your Brain might be in some trouble as well. Gets put in the cogs, the damage is there. S4 not taking nearly as much damage. The Omni Slash might give him a way out, but it doesn't look like it. One more hit needed, and it is Aki that takes the kill. And with this, even with only a Rubik down, they might feel safe enough to maybe try and push up to a tier 2 tower, as we have Screen running away from the bear. Bulldog looking for an entangle, won't be continuing to try that past the tier 2 though.
Yeah, so just another fight not really going the way for Empire. They end up losing a couple heroes. almost losing SFG. He was down to like 5 HP after a rocket hit him from Clockwork. So he does make it away alive, but they don't really get anything out of it again. They did get a kill on someone, right? Yeah, Rubik went down, but they lost Juggernaut, Queen of Pain. That's not a trade you want to make.
No, and in the meantime, of course, also, I mean, they're also not taking any map control back because all tier 1 towers still standing for Alliance, who've also taken residence into the Radiant jungle right now. You see all the wards being placed by Aki. It's like, okay, you know what? My place, mid lane, their place, top lane, their place. Anybody who tries to leave out of the comfort zone of Empire's tier 2 towers will be spotted out by Alliance and will probably be made pay as well, as they have got that mobility apparently with that hookshot, of course, of S4, which is basically the most mobile hero on the side of Alliance, is able to make it happen for them. And right now they are trying to go for a Roshan. I say trying, but there's not really any trying involved. They can just take it down if Lawyer Brain is trying to bait something out in the top lane with 4 people smoked next to him, but as we can see on the minimap, won't amount to anything at the moment.
Yeah, and if they realize that they're not going to initiate here, that means Alliance are probably going for Roshan. They're on the other side of the map. If they're not in their jungle, and you don't think they're in your jungle, then that's really the only other option.
Yeah, they're gonna fight S4 though. The Shackle, the Impale, the Scream is there. S4 should be going down. Nice pickup, nice kill for Empire, but they do lose Roshan over that, and you know that is again, it's a big loss to take because now the Gyrocopter, who only died once this game, with 3,300 gold in his inventory and a Helm of the Dominator, already tough to take down before he had that Aegis, and now you have to kill him twice if you actually want to take him down.
Yeah, and we'll see what he does. He still hasn't decided to pick anything up with the Ogre Club, and it's going to be BKB. So he did go for BKB this game. Look at Loda playing like he needs to be defensive.
Yeah, 64% of the games of Gyrocopter, there is a BKB. Shackle doesn't latch this time, out of heaven. That's also a tower denied against him, as they truly want to fight this Alliance, that is, because we already see Empire on the way out. Scandal getting entangled, Impale might help him, but not enough anymore, as Light of Heaven drops as well. 2 pickups for Alliance and the rest able to run, but they did take, well, the tower gets denied, you know, that is the first tower that is actually down on the side of Alliance, and they lose 2 heroes for it. And also the 2 heroes that actually have highest net worth for Empire, with the Queen of Pain sitting just above the supports of Alliance, and even the Windrunner, who now actually drops a position but just behind the supports of Alliance. I mean, it's a tough place to be in right now. And what do you think that Empire should really do now to keep themselves in this game, because it's slipping away from them at the moment?
Well, they're in a position where their team fight isn't really as good as Alliance's even is. It's like close, but they're behind so that they can't really take team fights. And so usually the response is smoke up, try and find a pickup. But they can't smoke up with 5 because it'll be way too obvious. And Alliance, they're not the kind of team that's just gonna be caught completely with their pants down by a 5-man smoke in the middle of the game. So they gotta try and smoke with a couple heroes, find a pickup on someone that they can get. It's probably not really Loda anymore, because he does have this BKB pickup now, and they don't have a ton of great lockdown for it. Because their setup is kind of disruption, and he can BKB immediately out of disruption. So they gotta find a hero like Lone Druid, like maybe Clockwork, take him down again, and then try and force a tower, and this time hope that they can get it down before Clockwork respawns.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Alliance is not allowing them to do that at all, because they're sitting with 4 people in the bottom lane. The only one that's by himself is Aki, and that's not that high priority target that you want to spend 5 of your heroes on. But they also can't defend their tier 2 tower right now. They're gonna try apparently though. Screen taking a bit of a walk in the forest there, which he might regret. The flare is gonna hit. The vision is gonna be, no, not on the edge. The hookshot, of course, is the one that S4 was looking for, but he can't find the way, and his Lawyer Brain will be able to TP himself out of that. And Screen just taking a very large detour back towards his team, which is gonna be trying to defend maybe the tier 2 top, or maybe trying to just take some farm, because of course that's something that you also still want to have. You need that farm, and if you look at the items of Empire, they don't really have that much. We see Light of Heaven being the one to go for the mechanism for his team, because basically nobody else is gonna be able to, as we have Screen, oh, looking for S4, tier 2 tower still goes down. S4 misses the hookshot in the end, so Screen able to dodge that, will be able to hide behind his tower, but still you see the aggression coming off from Alliance. They're not allowing Empire to take anything this game anymore.
Yeah, and now they're just starting the siege with the Baron. Loda can commit to the siege as well, as he still has the Aegis and the BKB, so he's not really concerned about getting killed. There's nothing that goes through BKB for controlling him, so if they just go down, he can BKB immediately after getting out of it and just back off. But tier 3 already down, and Alliance, you know, they're not being stopped. Brain's running in, but he's not really doing anything yet. Actually, Loda popping the BKB.
Yeah, pop the BKB, all the cooldown. Nobody in it though, but does do enough to spread up. Well, Empire completely. They are able to pick up the Nyx Assassin with the cogs, with the entangle. Shadow Demon goes down just by harassment from Loda. Flacken, of course, being a huge part of that one. And that's already the melee racks down. Scandal maybe trying to do something, gets a Homo missile to just get forced back into the fountain. And Empire, they can't defend right now. They can't go in. They don't have this massive team fight potential that you sometimes see in the form of a Magnus or something like that, which would allow them a chance there. As Lawyer Brain gets yeah, picked off there fairly easy. And just no foot in the door possible for Empire at this time.
Yeah, we're in a position where Alliance are pretty far ahead, and Empire, if they can't defend in their base, they can't do much of anything. And it's probably going to be about the end of the game.
Yeah, screen also goes down. Just a bear being set on him. And then they just see their barracks go down. They can't do anything specifically.
Dead.
Loda has started to die less in the games that they've been playing. That's of course good news for him. There's a lot of people who are always giving him grief for that actually, but he only died once this game. 5,500 gold in his inventory just because he can. GG well played goes out. No real surprise to us, as we already kind of realized it was over by the lack of fighting potential for Empire. And Alliance take themselves another game in StarLadder. They are not undefeated anymore though. They were yesterday, but they lost the game then, and now are well, are one game down. But they still have got a lot of points. It's all up to them to try and contest Virtus Pro for their top 1 position, as S4 just gets blocked by Loda.
Yeah, I would say Loda and Aki were blocking S4 into the final. Aki four-stepped Loda in. Just messing around. They get S4 killed, which is funny, but not a particularly close game. Once again, nope. Alliance kind of stomping Empire, and once you go with that aggressive trialing, you back off because you can't get anything out of it. You know you're in a bad spot, and you're going to be fighting from the back foot the entire game, and they just were never able to really come back from it, even with some good rotations.
Yeah.
If the lanes don't work, it's hard to do anything after that.
Fully agree, and of course, as you just saw, Alliance going to 6-1 in their scores for StarLadder, so having themselves 18 points right now, and we did see the scores of Empire as well, who are now 3-4, so having more losses than wins at this point, with 7 games played in StarLadder, with only 9 points to their name. We're gonna see Empire again though. Maybe they can even the score once again and go to 4-4, as we're gonna see Empire taking on IC Cup in the next game for StarLadder. This was of course the 3rd game of today. We are having 6 games today after IC Cup versus Empire. We are gonna see DD taking on Power Rangers, and then DD taking on taking on KP. We're gonna see KP today. Unfortunately, probably still not with RTZ, so sorry for people that were wanting to see that. But yeah, 3 games more to come for StarLadder. We are of course here with 3 people providing you with coverage. We are, well, I am rather Sheever at SheeverGaming on Twitter. You are also listening to my co-caster Kanaz. You can find him on Twitter at Twitter/KanazDota, and the stats that you see coming past are all provided by K-poptosis, who you can follow at K-poptosis without a hyphen. So that's that. We are jumping ourselves into Empire vs IC Cup. Might have a short break before then, but stick around for more Dota 2 action coming your way in just a moment.